Tape 3W suivi d'école au Sénégal. D'accord. À école au Sénégal, c'est facile, tu n'as qu'à te connecter. Tape école au Sénégal, les leçons sont beaucoup plus détaillées.
Gratitude. What is gratitude? Gratitude is just one of those little things that you do that can make a whole bunch of sense. Okay, that's gratitude. It's just little things that you do or say that can go a long, long way. Gratitude is simple. It's just acknowledging something that someone maybe has said or done. Acknowledging someone. It's simply saying thank you. How do you say thank you? Why do you say thank you? That is gratitude, being grateful for someone or about something. You're being grateful because somebody did something or somebody said something about you. And gratitude could be viewed in different ways and could be felt differently and could be expressed differently. Sometimes people are so grateful, they're deeply grateful that they don't know how to express it. And sometimes they're just so casual and so simple, and then they say it. But like I said before, it's a manner in which you say it that goes a long way. You could be grateful about something. You could say thank you about something. But how do you present it? How is it being sent? What's the message? How is it being received? It's very important to be grateful. It is part of those courteous, virtuous ways, okay, to say thank you. And so we want to look at different expressions of gratifying someone, of showing, being welcoming or being acceptant or being graced by someone or something that someone did. And so on the board I have like different aspects of how you can relate it. What are some of the things that needs to be done? And for example, you have to show enthusiasm. You have to show that you are happy, you're eager about it, that's being enthusiastic about something. You have to be, you need to be glad, you need to show it, it needs to be seen, you have to vent it. It needs to show that you are excited and that you are happy and that you're grateful for what somebody may have said or something, or what somebody may have done. Okay, that's number one, to show enthusiasm. For example, you made my day. Isn't that so nice? And just simply saying thank you. Somebody walks in with a cup of coffee and you were just agitated, you didn't have that coffee, that first coffee of the day, and somebody walks up with a cup of cappuccino or mocha or frappuccino or a good, a bold cup of coffee, you know, I'd be like, oh, thank you. You made my day. Just simply saying you make my day goes a very, very long way. You don't even need to say thank you. With a good smile, you made my day. That's wonderful. That is showing enthusiasm. Or another one could be, you saved my life. You saved my life. Maybe that phone call that came in and I was supposed to be there and I was just struck maybe by traffic or something happened that I could not be on time, and you knew that was a do or die kind of a phone call that was going to define you at that particular moment, and somebody just picked it up and stepped in at that particular moment and answered for you. Oh, you saved my life. What if you were not there? That client would have gone. What if you were not there? I could have been fired. You saved my day. That is showing enthusiasm, putting a little bit of pinch, a little bit of spice to it. So it's just better than saying thank you. You know, and the other person, of course, the receiver is kind of happy about it because you're making that person's day without even knowing, unconsciously. Okay, and another step is to vary your vocabulary. I cannot stress about vocabulary. You have to vary. They're not always saying, oh, thank you very much, thank you, I appreciate, thank you. What else can you see? Thanks a million. You can change it. Oh, thanks a million. Or what I love to say informally, thanks a bunch. You know, like a bunch, like hips, thanks a bunch. Oh, thanks a bunch. It's just to say that I give you a bunch, a heap, a whole lot of thank you. Million thank you. That's simply what it means, you know. Thanks a million, thanks a bunch. Or you're the best. You know, that is spicing up your vocabulary as far as thanks is concerned. Or thank you a whole lot. Thank you a whole lot. I cannot thank you enough. So, and to get specific, you know, thank you, you're getting specific means that somebody did something, a lot of people did something, and you wanted to figure out what is that particular thing amongst the many things that somebody did that touched you a lot. You say, well, thank you for stepping out for me. Thank you for backing me off. Thank you for having my back. You know, thank you for waking me up this morning. You've been specific about it. You know, I appreciate you for all your efforts. I appreciate you for helping me out. I appreciate you for being here and being on time. I appreciate you for handling all my humors and all my behaviors and all that. I really thank you. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for having you in my team. They need to know that. I'm grateful for you making me a better person. I'm grateful for stepping in, for praying for me. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful that you paid my bills. I am grateful. You've been specific. What has that person done? What is that particular thing that that person has done in the midst of so many things that you want to make sure that person knows? What is it? You've been specific. I am grateful. I appreciate you. I am thankful. You're so worthy. Thank you. And then, of course, what other people do, if it's so a lot that you want to share, you know, you want to share it, probably you want the world to know what this particular person has done, how it has transformed you. Maybe what the person did or that person said was so enormous. Maybe the action was just unbelievable. You go public. And public does not mean that sometimes you have to go to YouTube, whatever. It could be maybe in your company journal, it could maybe in your WhatsApp, it could maybe whatever it is you want to go public, to go beyond that. No, I can't contain this. I can't just keep this to myself. This is too big to be left alone. This is too big to be crushed. And I want the world to know what this person did for me. This person sacrificed, the sacrifice that the person sacrificed for me, this bold step. And so you want to go public to give that person probably what we call a shout out. You want to shout out to that person. Oh, let's give a shout out to Israel for what, you know, she did. We thank you. She stepped out, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Israel. Thank you for what you've done. You're giving a shout out, you're making it public, and people would probably love that. In your WhatsApp group, in your Instagrams, or things like that. You want the world to know. You want people to know how grateful you are. You want that person to know that I just cannot continue this. I want people to appreciate you for what you have done. That this is bigger than my imagination. This is bigger than what you think that you did. It may have been a simple gesture, but look how far this thing went. It could be just a particular word, but look how far this thing went. It could have been just a particular sign or something, but then it went so far. So you want to appreciate that person. And so you want to give that person what we call a shout out. It's a shout out where people go maybe on radio and say a shout out to you, mommy, daddy, whatever it is, shout out. And then sometimes, what about a handwritten letter? We're so used to now, you know, technology, computers, you know, send a word, tap, send a message, you know, oh, I thank you, and things like that. We're so technology based, and we forget that sometimes those little things are what people cherish now. You know, now we don't see people sending out gift cards. Or back in the day, people would buy, you know, cards, you know, greeting cards and send. But now everybody is just, you know, you can just sit in the comfort of your home and just make one and, you know, and send, you know. But handwritten cards sometimes, they read a lot. People are still that kind of old-fashioned. They're like that old-school kind of person. And so sometimes you could take maybe a card, a good card, and just write, or a letter and just write the handwriting, because they want to conserve that. They feel that you've taken the time to sit, to explore, and you've written out of your heart, and then you send. And so sometimes handwritten cards are just a great way to say thank you. People still love that. They feel that you've taken the time. You know, people love that you presented good. And so it's wonderful. And then what about you getting deep? You know, getting deep means that it just sinks inside of you. Maybe somebody just did something that, was just more than that you expected. That person probably went out of their way for you, and you don't know how to express it. The expression of your gratitude, the expression of your love, the expression of your reconnaissance, the expression of your courteous nature. What do you say? You have to really go deep inside of you, and and just come out with just just extraordinary words, and so you say, I cannot thank you enough. Words cannot begin to ascertain how I feel. My expression, I don't know how to say thank you. If only you could look deep into my heart, then you would know that what you did is more than what I expected. I didn't need you to go that far. I did not need you to step that far. I cannot thank you enough, sir. I cannot thank you enough for giving me this opportunity, despite the fact that I don't even qualify, despite the fact that I came late, despite the fact that I'm not even here, but you're giving me that chance. You're giving me a second chance. How can I thank you? How do I say thank you? How do you know how grateful I am? It is, I cannot thank you enough. I am internally grateful. That means that forever and ever, no matter what happens, even if we break apart, I will still be forever grateful. Forever grateful. Maybe you stepped in and took care of my child when I was not there. Maybe you gave me a job at the point in time, at the leak of time, at the time I desperately needed. Maybe, I don't know, you helped someone that was really important to me. You cannot understand that, but I shall be internally forever grateful. That is going deep and telling someone how you feel. Forever grateful. Oftentimes we say this to a religious, to being like to God. Oftentimes say, God, I just want to say thank you. How do I thank you, Father, for this year? How do I thank you for stepping me out? How do I thank you that in the midst of all these people were, sick and all, but yet you kept me? Forever grateful. Internally, it means even after life, you shall be grateful for a particular person. Do you have people like that? You have my deepest thanks. You have my deepest thanks. Like the deepest, not just the surface, not just this thank you that you see, but if only you could go deep inside, you have my deepest thanks. Thank you. You have my deepest thanks for that opportunity, for that chance, for that action, for that word, for what you did say or didn't say. You have my deepest thanks for that occasion. That's getting deep, I will never forget your support. I will never forget your support. I will never forget your kindness. I will never forget your presence. I will never forget your contribution. I will never forget your presence. It's been like internally, forever. I will never ever forget it. Isn't that deep? Isn't that deep? Your gratitude. What are the vocabularies that you're using? Your attitude. Thanks. Another one that I really do love to use is thanks for your labor of love. Thank you for that labor of love. Did somebody ever say something or support you or saw that vision even when you felt it was still glimpsy, it was still gloomy? Was somebody there to lift you up when you felt you were down and raised you up? And you say, oh, thank you for that labor of love, for that contribution of love. Thank you for that wonder, for that labor of love. I just love to use it, a labor of love, because I've had a lot of people in my life that just stepped in and did things and trusted in me. Even when I failed a couple of times, when I stumbled, they still stood by me. And so I thank them, because it can only take love to do that. So thank you for that labor of love, and they labor for you with or without wanting anything back. That is being grateful to those kind of people. So what do you tell those kind of people? Just thank you? No. I'm giving you words now that you can actually use for that. So another word that could be used is words cannot express how much you mean to me. Someone was went an extra mile, like I said. Words cannot begin to comprehend. Words cannot begin to. You just cannot comprehend how much you mean to me. There are no words to explain. I cannot be explicit enough to tell you how much you mean to me. That's words of gratitude. I am grateful to you more than you would ever imagine. I am grateful to you more than you would ever know. I am grateful to you more than you would ever know. That's telling people, that's telling that person that, I'm so touched by your action. I'm so touched by your action. So these words of gratitude, you can use some of these steps that I meted out here, and these are some of the examples that you can use as far as you're concerned, for the day to make you, for that person, depending to what extent or how much that person has done to you, you'll be able to ascertain which sentence to use towards that person. Okay, and so it's important that you take note. It depends on the gravity, the intensity, the deepness of that action or the words that the person expressed. How do you do it? And change them. Don't often say, "Oh, I'm grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much, thank you very much." The different ways that you can present something or say words to either someone or to persons, about it. Expression.
Écoles au Sénégal.com